Joining me right now is the multi-talented, multi-skilled and multi-fit man himself. He has run from Melbourne to Mooloolaba. He has attempted a Guinness World Record at the most chin-ups in 24 hours. He is the one and only Jamie Milne. Good morning, mate.
Oh, good morning, brother. Jesus Christ, that was brilliant.
Mate, listen, you're an inspiration to many people, and I just want to start with Miles for Mary to start with, which was your nan, who you were raising awareness and funds for, in particular around dementia. It's a huge thing that you do, and the superhuman efforts that you've gone to, and that efforts firstly need applauding, so well done you.
Oh, thank you very much, Sam. Thank you.
But secondly to that is the fact that your superhuman strengths are phenomenal, and you're a bit of a nutter, let's be honest. I mean, running from Melbourne to here is a bit crazy, and trying, 10,000 push-ups nearabouts?
Oh, pretty much.
Out of control. What are you doing now? You got something else you're doing?
I get bored, mate. I get bored. I live in the most beautiful place on the planet, but I do get a bit bored. But yeah, we're making a 10-year documentary.
So that's my face going, what?
Yeah, what? A 10-year doco on basically, I've had this in the pipeline for a couple of years. It's that squeaky wheel gets the grease type thing, keeps popping up. And so we decided to pull the trigger. And now it's a 10-year documentary. We're creating an artifact around the non-tangible or the invisible drivers of the human beings, basically, as it relates to endurance. So in layman's terms, you know, in the sports science industry, we measure everything.
Yep.
You know how fast you can run, how high you can jump, how much you can deadlift, you know, this type of stuff. But there, myself and other people that do similar feats of endurance, there's something that goes on that is you cannot measure. You know, whether you call it human spirit, whether you call it drive, grit, will, tenacity, X factor, crazy, you know, whatever you want to call it, there is something there. And I've experienced it many times, obviously with the countless amount of stupid things I've had a crack at.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Because you ran the length of the UK just recently too, didn't you?
Yeah, August. So what are we now? November.
So top to bottom, you ran the entire length of the UK.
I went the other way.
You went bottom top.
I could have done with your advice earlier on. Because they reckon it's downhill, mate. They reckon down to Cornwall. So I went uphill with a good group of friends and Sunny Coast business owners. So it was really good.
So okay, so what you're saying is the human body can do a certain amount of things physiologically. You know, you've got the muscle matter, you've got the materials there, you've got the science behind feeding those fibers to do what they need to do, and then the brain's saying, okay, legs, keep running.
Yeah.
But then there comes a point when that physicality sort of starts to stop and starts to fail, and the heart and the head start lining up and going, hang on a minute, this ain't going to work. But then there's that extra thing that breaks through that keeps you going.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And like I said, there's so many people that have experienced this, and it, I mean, we're fortunate enough to have the Sunshine Coast University, their sports science department, and Dr. Kendall George have jumped on board, and we've been flagged as being interesting, so they're going to commence a case study and research around it. And basically the research is around mental toughness and pain tolerance, which are a little bit lateral of what we're looking at, but I mean, they all come under the same umbrella. And it really is, like, I do believe the mind will be the new frontier of endurance. As you're saying, we focus on the physicality and physiologically what people can do, but man, oh man, that thing in between your ears and whatever this other driver is we hopefully will soon be able to measure how that all works, or what it is, or the combination of what it is. In
your new project, you're making a documentary, but you're also doing a scientific research on the impact on the body and the essence of endurance in partnership with the Sunny Coast University. Tell us more about it. So how endurance to you means what? Oh,
what a great question. That's a thought-provoking one. I have actually marinated on that question for a while because I thought somebody would ask eventually. I think endurance is the struggle, and I think it's the effort, and this is internal. It's the internal fight and struggle to basically to not stop, to fight off that desire to stop, and that is internal warfare. That's like some mental jujitsu. You're like turning yourself into a pretzel trying to stop. You know, you just want to go back to the hotel or to your home and get in those nice, comfortable, clean sheets for those that have clean sheets. And you know, you want to call it a day, and so you've got this internal warfare, you know, this internal jiu-jitsu of this fight against the desire, the overwhelming desire to stop.
Yeah, because all the elements are telling you to stop, aren't they? And the reason your body's telling you to stop is because it's hurting.
Yeah,
and pain is something that says, man, stop doing that because you're doing your body a disservice here.
Yeah.
But to push through that is next level, yeah?
Yeah, it is. And knowing the difference between, I mean, I don't know. I know people do, you know, unfortunately people do, you know, people do die, people get serious injuries and things like that. But I mean, in reality, the likelihood, you know, no one really, I mean, people do, but no, majority of people don't run until they die. You know, they don't just like keep pushing themselves until they literally collapse on the spot. I mean, it doesn't happen very often, but you do often wonder, you know, because you've got, like I said, this internal war going on. You don't know, am I taking it too far, or all right, I'll keep going, you know, no worries, keep going. And there's all these flags, you know, all these warning signs. But then, you know, beyond that, oh man, beyond that is something really beautiful, and it's hard to explain. And I'm really quickly about with the pull-up attempt. I did as many, if not more, pull-ups in my last 2 hours than I did in the first 2 hours, which was really interesting. And I mean, I know you came down and mate, the wheels had well and truly come off, and I think I might have got 1 or 2 in an hour because I just didn't have anything, couldn't explain it. Couldn't say, Sam, man, this is why I'm so tired, is because of X, Y, Z. I had nothing, no explanation, no excuses. And then in the last few hours, you know, last 3 or 4 hours, you get the surge of something pretty powerful and potent. But what's interesting is when I talk to people retrospectively, and they're like, oh yeah, of course you are, because you're nearly finished. You know, that's why you're getting that surge. And it's like, yeah, well, righto, that sort of seems the logical thing, but let's not forget there's been 20 hours of hanging off a bar. And, you know, so
I've spent 20 plus hours hanging off a bar myself, but usually with a barman behind it slinging me tequilas, man. a little different, but still an endurance sport, I'll tell you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that overwhelming desire to stop, but you're like, no,
I can't, I'm going to push through. I'm pushing through. There's more lemon, there's more salt. I got this.
Oh, jeez. That's endurance.
That's endurance.
That's suffering.
Now, mate, the doco you're making and is going to be screened in Caloundra, did you say, in April?
Yeah, fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
So that's this year, but you got 10 years in the making of this as well. So
that's right.
So the actual documentary and the filming and the making of all this is an endurance sport in itself.
Yeah, it is, mate. We look, we're quite lucky. The film company and director Nick Andrews from Shot Imagery, God bless him. We're doing 10 small documentaries of about 40 to 45 minutes, and they each have a different theme, genre type thing. I mean, they're all around that sort of sports psychology, sports science, and these invisible drivers. But this particular year, the topic is being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And we hand selected the world's toughest 100-mile trail ultramarathon, which is 160 kilometers on the island of Oahu in Hawaii. So I was lucky enough to be selected in the top 100. Or maybe lucky is not the word.
We'll see.
But the elevation, and this is another interesting thing, the elevation is 8,000 meters of cumulative climb, and Everest is 8,800.
Boom.
So that gives you an idea of the level of crazy
that's going on.
Yeah. So that's, you know, up and down Mount Coolum about 462 times.
Well, mate, can I get you to book in a time? Let's get you back in and have a chat, because I want to keep an eye on this probably for the next 10 years. Jamie Milne, the Beige Stag, is back with us in the studio. And Jamie, I just wanted to run something by you, mate, in terms of the psychology of sports people, because as a runner, as an endurance athlete yourself, there's a conversation I have with a lot of people, be it in the wellness world, the fitness world, and indeed the sporting world, about head, heart, and hands, and how important it is to have those three line up. And the way I explain it is, you've got the people that have maybe the heart, they've got all the passion in the world, they've got all the desire to achieve something, but they may not have the other two elements. If you don't have them lined up, you may not have the hands, and hands I refer to as talent, as skill. Do you know what I mean? So you might have all the passion without the skill. And then the final element there is the head, that X factor that you're talking about, that your 10-year documentary about finding out what is endurance and what is making people push through that pain barrier and do those certain things. Would you add credence to that, to say that the head, heart, and hands philosophy is 100% why high-performance athletes succeed?
Wow, that is a really good question. I would say that is a huge catalyst for athletic success, for sure. I love the old saying, hard work beats talent when talent stops working hard. I believe that hard work, that ethic has to come. It's totally holistic. It's, the difference between exercise and training. There was a time where I'd love to just rock up to the gym, crash bang wallop on the treadmill, a few bicep curls. I've been trying to get these puppies growing since I was 12. And, that's exercise. Training is when you consider yourself an athlete. Now, anybody can be an athlete. I hate how people sort of, I'm an athlete, like you're on some pedestal. Like, athlete is a mindset. Athlete is not, you're on the top of the pedestal type thing. And for me, in summary of your question, I think being an athlete is, training is 24/7. It is how you sleep. It's how you deal with stress. It's how you eat. It's how you train. It's your lifestyle choices, and that is the decision you make when you decide to put on that athlete banner. So it's not a pedestal. It's not a throne. It is a mindset. So I think the mindset, and for me having to start again and be competitive, it's been 12, I thought either between 12 and 16 years since I was competing. And so now, okay, game on. I've got to start thinking this way. So yes, I do agree. Head, heart and hands, love that. And I just think, it's the mindset. I'm now an athlete. You're going to make those athletic decisions. You heard it first, Jamie Milne, the beige stag himself. Now, Jamie, where can people find you and get involved with what you're doing? Yeah, so the documentary is called Wairua, which means in Māori or Indigenous New Zealander, Wairua means spirit or inner spirit, and you can find us on Facebook. You can have a look at our website. Heaps of cool content up there. It's sick. It's not as sick as Hot 91 FM, but it's getting there. We're getting there. Love you, brother. Thanks heaps for joining us. Much love. Thank you, Sam.